Hello everyone, and welcome back to DMG. Last video we looked at a very small enterprise storage drive from WD in the 2.5-inch form factor. This drive is 10,000 RPM, and it is from 2009. Today we are going to be looking at a 500 gigabyte drive from Seagate. This drive is from 2014. It is from their Constellation.2 series. That's how it is spelled / written. This drive is only 7,200 RPM compared to the faster RPM of this one. But it has a little bit more cache, and it's a slightly newer drive with a slightly different design. So I'm going to be comparing these two drives today. Really quickly, just hardware overview, it's SATA, just like the old one. You know, older. It has a very big controller board, and a very easy difference between them is, let me line up a laptop drive and these two. It's the same thicker 2.5-inch form factor, but it's still 2.5-inch. We can see the laptop drive, the platter is here, the SATA connector is here, the heads are here. Same with this drive. But on this one, it's flipped. The heads are here, the SATA connector is here, and the platter is down here. Again, if you want to hear me talk about the purpose of these drives a little more, go watch last video. I talk a little bit about the servers they would have gone in. But mainly, I just want to test if these drives in a higher capacity and slightly lower RPM are viable for my own storage solution. The reason being, I can fit two of these where a single 3.5-inch drive would go in my NAS. The case wasn't really built to hold a bunch of 3.5-inch drives, but it can easily fit 4 2.5-inch drives. So, I could have a RAID array of these very small drives, which by the way are very cheap. This one only cost me about $15, recertified with no bad sectors. But anyway, if I can have a RAID array where I previously only fit one drive, that should give me a performance uplift, and I won't have to have two 3.5-inch drives, which will increase power consumption and noise, and I live in a very small room, so, you know, any added heat and noise isn't really appreciated, although I do love hard drive sounds. Anyway, let's get on to the benchmarks. I'll be testing it exactly like I did last video, and we'll see how it stacks up against regular laptop drives and this older 10,000 RPM disk. We have our little Seagate up for testing now. As usual, this is on my Windows XP system because it doesn't have background processes that take up extra disk space. It doesn't matter that the SATA port can only do 300 megabytes per second because this drive definitely won't hit that. Now, a thing I forgot to mention in the video with the WD drive is these accept locking SATA connectors. A lot of laptop drives don't. SATA connectors that have this little clip to lock usually just slip right out, but these have the mechanism there to lock, which is pretty nice. Alright, let's power it up. This is my first time turning on this drive. That's a loud spin up, but the actual drive is very quiet. It's recognized on the computer as the 500 gig that it should be, so we'll go ahead and boot into our operating system. Oh wow, only 333 hours this drive has been turned on. That is not bad at all. A few raw read errors, bunch of spin retries, and a couple reallocations. So now I'll open Crystal Diskmark, and here we go. We're trying to beat 123 sequential, 0.7 random, 123, and 2 for random. And I was moving my mouse to what they should be. Okay, 113. So it's only 10 megabytes per second slower than the 10,000 RPM drive. That's pretty interesting. This really does close the gap between the two drives. That is cool. Okay, and its random read is a tiny bit faster than the WD, but it's also in line with, you know, what a lot of laptop drives can manage. So hopefully we'll see something like the WD, where the random write definitely makes up for the slightly slower random read. Also, the smart data, I'm okay with those few little imperfections. Not like I bought this drive new old stock or anything, and the drives it's replacing have even more pre-fail attributes that are minor, but still kind of can look a bit scary on paper. I bought this drive for just about $12, and I feel like it was definitely worth it. But here are our results, and I'm really impressed with them, actually. I can definitely say it beats every laptop drive I have, and it actually competes, just like the WD, with a bunch of desktop drives as well. Quick update on the Seagate drives. I got a second one, put it in my NAS, and I'm running a mirrored array on them for reliability. So in case one drive fails, the other will still be running. But remember, RAID is not a backup. I also have a backup drive. Now, I wouldn't have covered this because it's not super interesting, but the drives are actually faster in RAID. And I didn't expect just a mirrored array to make them faster. Also, they're a bit loud in the NAS case, especially when there are a bunch of them in there, even though there are only two. The second one I got has 7.5 years of flying hours, only 2 reallocated sectors, which is fine, and only 40 starts and stops, so it probably saw 24/7 server use. Okay, but those two Seagate drives, the little Constellations, have seriously surprised me. That's it for this video.